Alright guys, welcome to episode 2, where we're taking this VFR800 turning into a lean, mean street fighter machine, and then giving the bike away when it's done. If you want details on how you can win the bike, go to this site right here, over on Patreon, check it out, sign up to win. So what we're doing today is we're swapping out the stock rear sets for a set of billet Vortex sets. If you don't know what a rear set is, it's usually a billet set of foot pegs with your shifter and your back brake, full assembly. Doesn't sound like there's a lot to install, but stay tuned and you'll see why. It's going to get a little complicated. Now initially I was going to build this bike as a naked bike. That's what street fighters are all about. And after taking off the fairings and the front headlight, I noticed there's just a lot of garbage in the way. On the left side there's a bunch of braking mechanisms and a big electronics panel. On the front you got an oil cooler, more electronics, you got your bars coming up for the fairing, you got gauges, very busy. Then on the right hand side you got another electrical box with a bunch of ugly wiring. I almost was going to scrap this build for a different build, but then I came in the garage for about an hour or so, just played around with it and thought, how can I salvage this build? Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse, I've been sick. So here's my initial concept drawing. It looks very Street Fighter-ish. The front end's been fully stripped down, sleeked out the back end, moved the exhaust. That would have been cool, but I think with all this stuff on the front, we got to keep the fairings on the bike. So here's another drawing I did with the fairings on the bike. That was like, at first I was like, man, this is a bummer. But after drawing it up and getting done with the drawing, I was like, that looks pretty sweet. What I didn't like about the bike was it had a lot of black, making the bike look big. So as you can see, I broke up the graphics with some red, and there's gonna be some silver on the gas tank. And I think it looks pretty cool. The tail section of the bike will still be really thin and tapered. Custom seat, trick exhaust. With that being said, let's check out the rear sets, put them together, get them on the bike. All right, here's what I scored from Vortex, one of the leaders, one of the more popular brands in rear sets. Here's the deal. These rear sets are not for a VFR800. They're for a Honda CBR 600 or 900. They didn't have the ones I needed, so I said, well, let's just take these and we'll make them work. So let's open it up and take a look at what we're dealing with. Okay, nice. Very cool billet, nice traction foot pegs. Everything looks good there. This is the rear brake side. And then we got some shift arms or whatever. Got some instructions, it looks like. Oh yeah, very nice, easy to understand. Instructions for both sides. So let's put these bad boys together. As you can see here, there's a bunch of holes in this plate, so you can adjust the position of this, but we'll just pick this one right here for now. Okay, so since this rear set isn't for the VFR800, it's for the 600 or the 900, we can't use this part right here, and I'm going to show you why in a minute when we put it on the bike. But I did order this piece here off eBay for like 18 bucks. It fits the 600, and we're going to use this on the other end here to obviously connect to the shifter shaft. Tell me the threads aren't backwards. Oh man. They are. Alright guys, so check this out. I already ran into my first complication. This piece here that comes with the kit is a left-hand thread, but this piece that I just ordered is a left-hand thread too. Well, this shaft is a left-hand thread on this end and a right-hand thread on this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, which is a right-hand thread. I'll replace this one here with a right-hand thread, and we'll be good to go. Man, for a minute there I thought we already hit a roadblock. These guys obviously use red Loctite on their stuff. Yeah, red. All right, first one is done. Sweet. I really hate shrink wrap. It's such a pain in the butt. So I'm putting this piece here in the same spot as the other rear set. You want them to be in the same position, of course. I'm not cranking down on these because I might end up moving this position, so I just want to get them snug for now. Okay, good. And then got your foot peg. And in case you're wondering what keeps these foot pegs from spinning, they have, come on, jeez, they have these posts right here that go into this hole that's got posts here, so when you put it in, you can't turn. Nice feature. I want to do this screw really tight because this will be on toward the bike, and I won't be able to get to it once it's on the bike. So let's mount them up. Okay, so we've got two challenges here. First challenge is the brake light switch, which mounts to this tab, which mounts to the brake pedal. Turn on your tail light. This rear set doesn't have anything for that, so we're gonna have to make a bracket for that. The other problem is the new rear set holes are about 1/8 of an inch too close together. So what I'm gonna do is make an adapter plate for both sides that attaches here, and then we'll attach the rear set to the adapter plate. And you know, it's going to move the rear set out a little bit, but I don't think that should be a problem. Alright, so just for some additional test feeding, I just put the top bolt in, bottom bolt's not in position. The rear sets are too high, so I'm going to drop them down to the lowest setting and see how things look then. Yeah, and I got them as far forward as possible for the most comfortable position. Should never tighten a bolt unless you got both bolts in the threads already, otherwise things won't line up a lot of times. Okay, after playing with this a little bit, I also noticed here this shaft has to come straight down. For it to meet this tab, it would have to be like that. That's not cool. It's going to cause a bind in the piston. But if I have it go straight down, if I just make a spacer, put it in here so this doesn't pinch down, put a bolt through the whole thing, voila. All right, guys, that's it. Everything worked out great. The positioning feels fantastic. I realize it looks a little funky right now because it's not all blacked out, but once that's done, it'll look nice and clean. So with two little brackets, I just managed to salvage a couple of rear sets that weren't made for this bike. So that is a wrap for episode 2. Make sure you come back next week. I'm gonna turn to this rear end and start getting it all tricked out. You know, just whatever we can do to make this look better. That'll be in episode 3 next week. Don't forget, if you wanna be the guy that owns this bike when it's done, go to the Patreon site, sign up. For as little as $1, you can qualify to win. See you guys next episode.